Start recording. Stop recording. Button.
This is the only time you're going to be seeing a Bop It. It's right here. It's the Minion Bop It. Just to show you a Bop It. Just to show you that the camera's moving. I mean, just to show you that the camera's picking up something. There we go. Now you've saw something. Now, what I'm going to do is tell you that I'm in the process of trying to find me an iPod Touch 4th generation. You heard that right. I'm not even looking for a Braille and Speak anymore. However, I will in the coming years trying to find one. Although I don't see how I'm going to because, well, I just don't see it. You know, probably in February sometime I'm going to be getting one of those, an iPod Touch 4th generation, and I'm going to do a review on it. The Braille and Speak, what I was wanting to do, if I got it, I would do a 1 week study with it. Either 5 days or 7 days, I don't know. But the iPod Touch 4th generation, all I got to do is hold down the home button for voice control, which that's what it has. See, the iPod Touch 4th generation will have the same operating system as the iPhone 3GS. Weird, right? Well, it's kind of complicated. So, the iPod Touch is simply just it's almost like the phone. Excuse me, that was something else. iPod Touch 4th generation, can't speak. Can somebody give me a translator? Just kidding. I don't read the translator. But anyways, the iPod Touch 4th generation. My thoughts. I've watched a video on it. The speaker is not loud, from what I've heard. Nor is Safari as updated as the current version. On the iPhone 7 with iOS 12, or any of the other iPhones running iOS 12. Probably iPhone 6 and newer are still running iOS 12. I'm not sure about the iPhone 5C, but that ran iOS 11. But I'm pretty sure it is. I'm just not sure. iPod Touch 6th generation is running iOS 12. Now that's not what I'm getting. An iPod Touch 6th generation, that's kind of a bit on the new side. They still got them. They're still supported as of right now. But the iPod Touch 4th generation goes up to iOS 6.1.6. And that's the latest update. That is the latest update for the iPod Touch 4th generation. Now the reason I say I want that is because the original voiceover, the first ever appearance of voiceover was on the iPhone 3GS, the iPod Touch 4th generation, and not only that, it could also be on one of the first or second iPad, the first or second generation of iPad, the iPad first generation or the second generation, but I think it's the first. Saying as how voiceover came out in what, 2009 or something? But yeah, the oldest screen reader is JAWS, if you want to know. But that's for the PC. JAWS is meant for the PC and for some Windows tablets, like the Surface Pro or the Surface, well, a couple of them. But I just like old technology, period. No, don't get me wrong. I have my share of new technology as well. I mean, I have I have my share of liking new technology as well. Like the iPhone 10 and the iPhone 10R and other iPhones. Now, I don't need another iPhone. You may be wondering, do you? Well, if you hear the quality of my videos, you could tell that it's an iPhone. I can't really hide that fact, can I?
Speech off. Speech on. Stop recording. Button. Speech off.
That is the current voice of Samantha on iOS 12. Now, when VoiceOver originally came out, Samantha sounded more different. And when I get the iPod Touch 4th generation, which I hope I will get, I will show you, because it will be the same. As I said, the iPhone 3GS and the iPod Touch 4th generation run the same operating system as they do. It may be a different generation of something, like the iPhone 3GS first supported VoiceOver back in 2009 or 10 or whatever. So, the iPod Touch 4th generation, it had updates from, I don't know, iOS. I think it was just called iPhone OS until the iPod Touch came along, and then the iPad. I think the iPad, when the iPad came out, it became iOS, but I'm not sure. iPad, oh yeah, I guess that kind of makes sense, because you got the iPod, then you got the iPhone, then you got the iPad. I have seen the first generation iPad, as far as I know I have. And I think there's like an older iPad around here somewhere that I was going to review, but yet I didn't. Stupid me. By the way, I have looked at an older iPad, and you want to know something? The older iPads and the older iOS devices, like the older iPhones, I have looked at an iPhone 6 before, and that's not even great quality. The iPhone 7 has better quality. I don't know about the iPhone 10 because I haven't used it. I have looked at an iPhone 8 at one point. At some point in time I have. But I'm not saying I for sure did. I know one phone that I've actually looked at, and that's the iPhone 5. iPhone 5 is not old enough. You see, the iPhone 5 has ran from, it ran iOS 11. And some say it couldn't even support iOS 11, and I was surprised. It actually did support iOS 11. As far as I know it did, but I never had an iPhone 5, so, I've felt one before, so like, the iPhone 5 is bigger than the iPhone 4 and 4S, I think, but I don't know. And if I do get an iPod Touch 4th generation, I do have a 30-pin port charger without a wall charger lying around. So if that doesn't come with a charger, I'm covered because I got one lying around just in case I happened to get an older iOS device that required it. But what I call it, the classic iOS devices are the original iPhone, which does not have VoiceOver, mind you. The iPhone 2G, iPhone 2GS. Wait, am I saying that right? I got to be. The iPhone 2G, iPhone 2GS, iPhone 3G, the first three models of the iPhone didn't have VoiceOver. iPhone 3GS, U, completely saved the blind community. That's right. iPhone 3GS. iPhone 3GS saved it. I wish I had one of those. But no, I didn't. I didn't even think that I knew iPhones even existed back then, but I did know an iPad existed. What is up with young kids nowadays wanting to play on iPads, you know? I mean, come on. Kids nowadays think that iPads are toys. I'm not saying that I'm an older person, but I'm just saying kids nowadays that think iPads are toys, which they're not. I mean, they are to them because they got a lot of games on them, but it also depends on how much memory you got on it. I mean, how much storage you got on it. For example, I don't know what size of storage the iPod Touch that I'm going to be getting is, but if it's small storage, like 32 or something, I think they went up to 64 gigs, which that's as much as something I had, and I'm not going to mention. I had something that had 64 gigs, and if you know me, you can figure it out in the comments. Excuse me, not in the comments, but if you know me personally, you can figure that out. Something that had 64 gigs. And that's the biggest amount of storage that an iPod Touch 4th generation will have. And you know, I just don't think that Braille and Speak, I just don't think the Braille and Speak thing is meant to be right now, because there's none out there, and if there are, it's either the classic one that doesn't even work past the year 1999, or it's a Braille and Speak Scholar that isn't even worth the money, you know? Braille and Speaks right now are, well, hard to come by because, number one, they're old, and number two, they are vintage right now. The original Braille and Speak was made in 1987. As far as I know, it was. Now, it's a good thing I'm staying away from Bop It, because what I know now is, well, I don't know if they're going to make any more Bop Its, and I don't even know if I'm even going to have a comeback. I just showed you that Bop It so you can see something. I don't even know if I'm going to do any more reviews until the iPod Touch gets around, because I don't need 1 week to prepare for a video. All I need to do is take it out of its mailing box, charge it up if it's not charged, and tell voice control, turn on voiceover, and that's that. That's all I gotta do. As long as it's set up. If it's not, then there's gonna be a problem. But don't worry, if you hold down, I'm assuming I've heard this from like a video, but they never said it. But if you hold down the home button and voice control comes up, it would say welcome to voice control, and it would say allow, but I don't think voiceover would read it out because it's not set up. Yeesh. Voice control was the predecessor to Siri. Siri was on the iPhone 4S first in October of 2011. I think it was October 4th, but I don't know. But Siri has been around for a long time. And just to be real cool, you know, Siri is now sounding young and real teenager-like. It used to be Susan Bennett that did the voice of Siri. And you know what? Siri, fun fact, actually was the voice of the Bat computer on the Lego Batman movie in 2017. Batman was voiced by Will Arnett. Or Will Arnett. I think that's the guy's name. And he kind of sounded like a mix between Christian Bale. And he put his own twist to the Batman voice. And I mean twist, I don't mean twist it. Yeesh, I just said Bop It command, but whatever. I haven't done Bop It in a little while, but I have mentioned it in the description of one of my videos. So, now the iPod Touch 4th generation comes with my favorite ringtone of one of the classic iOS devices. Then I'm for it. I'm going to keep that. I don't know what it's called, so if you look on, what is it? Cool Dude 530 TTS's video on Microsoft Sam finding Mac Alex. If you hear a ringtone that was on the iPhone 3G, but I don't think it's available anymore. I don't know, but it won't be the iPhone ringtones that you'd hear on a modern iPhone, like the iPhone 6 or iPhone 7 or iPhone 8 or iPhone 10. Now, why did Apple skip 9? Because 7, 8, 9. 7, 8, 9. 7, 8, 9. You get it? I just like to see people try to find iPhone 9. But, excuse me. Oh boy. I'm liking iOS 12. And you know what? Here's the thing. I'm so behind on updating one of my devices. Yeah, I am. I'm back to whisper mode when it comes to something that I don't really want anyone to know. So, guys, just cover your ears and don't do anything. How's about who was supporting me on my channel? Apparently, it's someone that I know and someone that I love. And if that person is you, then thanks for supporting me. Thank you. Even though you're pretty much the only one that supports my channel, I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. Not at all. I'm just saying, at least I'm not, can't speak again. Can someone give me a speech therapist? I'm just kidding, I'm just kidding. But, I'm just moving through my stuff real fast. Now what was I about to say? Okay. At least I'm not really saying I'm going to be getting the original Bop It. No, at least I'm not doing that. No. Not for a while. Not for a while. Because I see everyone on my channel sees the potential that I can get up to. It's more than Bop It. It's more than Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's more than just random vlogs. It's technology. And how's this supposed to happen? Well, I was going to do a review of a note taker, but it's kind of hard to find that particular note taker, if you know what I'm talking about. So, excuse me. I'm sorry if I said that original message, but the original voiceover. Now, you may be wondering, what do you mean by that? I'm just saying, the first ever use of voiceover for the blind was either in the iPhone 3GS or the iPod Touch 4th generation in the way of iPod Touches. Now, I would like to do a video on an Android device, but one problem. I'll give you a few seconds to figure it out. If you haven't figured out already, I don't have an Android device. So I would need someone's help doing that. This is why I wish I had the Braille No Touch. Because it runs Android, but not the same speech synthesizer. It has its own voice. It has its own screen reader. I know one thing. Someday I will be able to get all the technology that I'm wanting to look at. Whether it be 50 or 16, whether it be 15 or 16 years in the future or something, because who cares? Okay, and oh my gosh. I'm just saying I might be looking into getting an iPod Touch 4th generation so we can just review it. And yep, you guessed right. I'm not really talking about Bop It anymore. But I do mention it a little bit because it's something I still like, but not really in a mood to look at one right now. I mean, I could, but, well, I don't want to have to pull open my electronic game box. And yeah, I actually do have a box of electronic games. Like some other electronic gamers do. But I'll still do Bop It on other channels, just not this one. I think I'll release all my Bop It videos on another channel. Somehow, I don't feel like doing Bop It that much anymore. I mean, I don't know. When I first got into Bop It, I actually did not have a YouTube channel. I don't know if I said this, but I didn't have a YouTube channel when I first did get into Bop It. Then I lost interest, and I went back into I got interested. I got interest in it again back in 2016, about 2 years ago. But now that people are trying to tell me to look at other stuff, in which I would agree, I do need to look at other stuff. I am trying to look into getting an iPod Touch 4th generation, like I just said, just to stop reviewing Bop It, just so I can just get out of Bop It for at least a little while. It's just a temporary thing, I guess. I don't know, but I know it's black. I know it is. I'm going to try and figure out a way to do something about it. But anyways, that's all. Bye.